Live na live. Alright, live na ba tayo mga lods? Ayusin lang natin yung ano natin, display capture. Alright, we are live. Tumataas na yung mga ano natin. SLP and AXS is now pumping mga idol. Kumusta sa inyo men? Oh shit. Magkano na yung AXS natin men? Check natin. AXS USDT 15 minutes. Nako. 65 lalagay kong support. 66 eto. Baba 65. May nangyaring ano pump and dump. Alright, kumusta sa inyo mga Lodi Kicks, no? So we are here back at it again. First load, shoutout sa inyo, Denz Lester Valera, Benjamin, shoutout din kay Samuel Rivera, Rafael Bernabe, shoutout boss, 4 pesos idol, yes, 4 pesos na yung ating SLP. We are back at 4 pesos, no? So, I don't know why, pero kanina pa to nag-ano nasa 4 tumaas to kanina 4.38 pero ngayon bumaba 4.29. So tingnan pa natin bibilis mag-comment kayo sa nauna. Alright boy, Birit Cocolex, yehey. Pa-shoutout Lodi Kick, Prati Ramos, shoutout sa iyo bro. Boss, kumusta Michael Diatar Sorbito, shoutout din sa iyo Lods. Lagi ako updated sa mga live mo syempre na sana tumaas na talaga. Tumataas na nga talaga no. So tingnan natin yung chart. Wala tong analysis sa ngayon guys kasi itong lahat na nangyayari itong pagtaas is pagtaas to dahil sa update nga sa lagi kong sinasabi. Every time may update yung developers tumataas talaga yung price ng SLP. Kahit naman sa ibang coins or lahat ng coins or kahit sa stock market, kapag may bagong good news talaga, may mga investors talaga na papasok, tataas talaga yung price dahil lalaki yung demand. So sa nakita natin dito, 15-minute time frame. So ito yung ating SLP chart. Maraming green kasi maraming nag-buy in. Pero I guess itong mga malalaking buy is from new investors or yung mga mga traders lang to. And then they bought in sa murang price dito and then they sold. So parang bumili lang sila and then nag-buy lang sila sa low, sell at high. So pump and dump yun ginawa nila. So maraming gumawa nun kaya ito nagka-red tayo. So nagkaroon tayo ng pump and dump sa SLP. Hopefully tataas yan pag na yung natin mismo, yung update natin mismo bukas. Pero ang nangyayaring pagbaba ngayon is mga pump and dump yan from traders, no? Yung mga sell the news traders yan. Kaya ganito yung nangyayari pati sa AXS din. So bumaba, taas siya. So nasa 1 minute time frame tayo Huwag kayong huwag kayong ma-confuse. So ito yung ating 15-minute time frame sa AXS. Check natin yung 1 hour. 1 hour time frame. So ito, talagang nag-pump lahat. Iwan lahat ng moving average. Yung technical analysis na iwan din, 'di ba? So ito yung sinasabi ko dati for 4 minute sa 4-hour time frame. Iwan lahat dahil nga dito sa news na dahil to dun sa news na yung AXS cost per breed gagawing 1 AXS from 2. And then yung SLP cost is magiging double. So dati 300 SLP pag virgin or 0BC, ngayon 600 na. So dodoblehin na nila para mas marami na yung mababurn na SLP. So tingnan natin yung ano natin, AXIE world natin. Medyo matagal-tagal tayong hindi naka-update dito. Tingnan natin yung na-burn na SLP. So na-mint always 100 million, no? So mga nakaraang araw 100 million. Ito talagang lalaki talaga, oh. Tigwa 100 million yung bagong nami-mint. So hopefully itong new changes, no, medyo tataas sana yung burn netong ano SLP. I think tataas tong burn ng SLP by 50 to 75%. Kasi nag-average lang tayo ng 35 million. Hindi tayo tumataas sa 40 million gaano yung nababurn na SLP. So, expect tayo na tataas yung burning nito, issuance sa SLP by tomorrow, guys. So, ayun yung maganda. And then, kasabay nun magpapump yung AXS kasi malamang magmamahal talaga yung AXS dahil marami na magbibreed, maraming demand na mangyayari. So, ano lang tayo, tingin lang tayo sa 1 minute time frame. Kasi sa 1 minute time frame, tinitingnan ko closely yung yung mga transactions kasi dito mas detailed, eh. Nakikita mo mismo yung may mga nagda-dump, no? Bumili dito and then nag-dump. Marami tayong nakikita dito. May nakita din ako sa group kanina, bumili ng worth almost 500,000 na SLP, no? Pero hindi siya player. Hindi siya nag-AXIE Infinity, pero nakisabay lang, ano lang siya. Nakisabay sa hype para magkapera. So ayan, AXS, sa nakita nyo live movement ng AXS, nagkaroon tayo ng kaunting pump from, ito nakita nyo, kaunting pump. Hopefully ang ginawa ko din pala, nagdagdag ako ng AXS, no? Nagdagdag ako ng AXS. Meron na kaming na-hold na AXS pero dinagdagan ko. Tingnan natin yung mga comments nyo, guys. Lods, naka-hold rin po ba yung SLP nyo? Sa ngayon, hindi ako nag-hold ng SLP lods, eh. Pero may mga SLP ako sa mismong laro. Yung hindi ko pa nakukuha. Pero hindi ako nag-hold ng SLP. Dahil kinonvert ko siya sa AXS dati. So ngayon, medyo nababalik na yung niya, halaga ng kinonvert natin dati. Clutch time, PH 4.6 na kanina. Check natin ulit. 4.28, 336. So medyo bumababa siya, no? Marami yatang nagda-dump ngayon na na mga naki-hype lang. Shoutout nga pala, Lods, kay Jewel. Alright, shoutout sa'yo, Jewel. Pa-shoutout kay Shuzan. And then, shoutout din kay Ellen Perez. Kaya tumaas yan, nag-breed sila ng marami mga breeder dahil parating na update, ganun yun. Yes, isa din yun sa factor. Isang factor bakit tumaas yung AXS natin is because maraming bumili ng AXS na by investing lang or by trading lang. So, ang ginawa ko din, yun kasi ginawa ko, bumili ako ng AXS hindi para mag-breed, para mag-hold lang at saka mapalaki yung value niya. And then sell at the later day, no? So, ayan din. And meron ding mga breeders ngayon na na maraming AXS na hold pero konti lang SLP, kaya marami ding nagbi-breed ngayon. Kasi kung bukas sila magbi-breed, no, parang medyo mas mahal yung cost if ever yung SLP magiging double and then isang AXS na lang. So, medyo mahal-mahal bukas, eh. Kaya maraming nagbi-breed ngayon. Maganda na ba now mag-withdraw? Anong i-withdraw mo? May news na ba about RONIN Dex Lods? Check natin yung Twitter. May bago akong nakitang tweet kanina, no? Galing kay G-Host. So, nag-attend yata siya ng Check natin. G-Host. Ay. Okay na yun. May bagong balita yata si G-Host eh. Beautiful interview with G-Host, Ziori. Talk about the esports soon arrival of RONIN decks and the 5 years projection of AXIE Infinity. Interview with Outwaste, AXIE remains unbeatable at the NFT game level. So eto, meron siyang
Hijo, sino que también a Sigori. Tenemos a dos de los miembros que manejan el juego del momento, ¿no? AXIE Infinity, el que más nos interesa a todos nosotros. Y contento de traerlos acá. Pero bueno, vamos otra vez a modo Open English. ¿Les parece? Hey guys, how are you doing? Is big?
Yes.
That's my main idea. Is it okay?
Sure.
Yeah,
sounds great.
So, I want to go from the beginning. How did the idea of AXIE Infinity first came out? And did you expect it to be this big?
Yeah, so I'll talk a little bit about the early days. So originally, there are two founders of AXIE Infinity. One is named Masamune. He's like on the art, and he's the one who drew the first AXIE. And then there's Trung. They're both Vietnamese. They're childhood friends. They always had a dream of making a game together, but they were never able to really do it. Trung actually discovered NFTs through CryptoKitties, and then that's actually where he met myself, and he met Alexander, so two of the other co-founders of AXIE Infinity. So yeah, I think like we were people who were always like gamers our entire life, but we never saw an opportunity to make some amazing game. But with the rise of NFTs, right, we saw that, okay, this is a chance to create a new type of game. And this is a chance for someone who doesn't necessarily have so much experience, so much money, to be able to basically take a community-first approach to building a game. And because we're doing things a little bit differently, we have some advantage to be able to compete with the big players. So we always thought that blockchain gaming would be big. We always believed that something very special was happening within AXIE, because I think the community in the early days was really special. Yeah, but obviously we're really happy and excited that AXIE has gotten large. It's also a big responsibility.
So at the beginning, like the play-to-earn model was not in your mind. It was more NFT and more like kind of indie game, but not really play-to-earn. That happens during the process. Am I right?
So when we discovered NFTs through CryptoKitties, and we saw that there is a potential here to create a game where you can turn your time and effort into real value.
Okay.
But you need to make it very carefully. You need to design the game economy very carefully, and there needs to be a fun game. So we had this idea that, okay, if we can create a very fun game and combine that with a very well-structured economy, that it would be possible for gamers to turn their time and effort into real value. That was our hypothesis, and then yeah, it kind of took a few years to really blow up.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And do you see this, like this new model, this play-to-earn, like something sustainable in the long term?
Definitely. I mean, I think there's a lot of merit to this idea of people getting rewarded for their attention, right? And when you see like the scholarship model that's been forming, the successful scholarships are really about percentage of work done rather than this kind of outdated model of paying people flat rates. It allows scholars to benefit from the rise of SLP over time. And it's a model that just feels like a lot more fair and a lot more forward focused. And the digital nature of AXIE makes that like borderless and global in nature. So we have these scholarships that are run by people in America or Europe, and they have scholars in South America or Southeast Asia. And that's like, part of the value that is unlocked, I think, through this new NFT world, when you're able to build an actual competitive game on top of it that's fun to play and then also has strong tokenomics behind it.
Yeah, that's pretty, and you touched their point, color, which people have mentioned a lot, and they are relating SOP, which I have to talk about because like the main question that people is asking, SOP and colors, they relate it as a problem, that colors have the fault on this new price this SOP is having below even 10 cents. What do you think about that? Are scholars to blame here?
Yeah, so I'll talk about it first, right? So first, we're really excited And we think it's amazing that there are so many people across the world that have come to rely on AXIE as a source of income. We think that's really important. That's really amazing, and we see it as a responsibility that we need to be very careful about. I think, right, like there are many factors when it comes to like the SLP price. Like I also want to stress that SLP used to be 0.4 cents. So even 10 cents, you know, this is much larger. This is a good price, I think, for many scholars in the world. You're still able to earn much more than your minimum wage. The price of SLP is going to be very volatile, to be honest, over the long term, because it is priced like a commodity, like wood or heating oil. So it's going to be subject to big fluctuations, and maybe, you know, sometimes we're going to be growing really quickly, sometimes we're not going to be growing as quickly. Right now, right, we're in a situation where we had a huge growth spurt over the last couple of months, and now we're waiting for a few upgrades, right? Like RONIN decks. We also need to upgrade the server so that you know, we don't face the same situation that we faced in July, right? Like where the entire server was down because
I remember, yeah.
Yeah, it gets really hard to predict. Like, I haven't been on the team for that long. It's just over 5 months now. When I started, we had like 50,000 daily active users, and part of my mission was, Sayori, figure out how to help us unlock hypergrowth. Like, how do we start adding zeros to the end of this? Before I could even come up with a plan and implement it, we started seeing that scholarship explosion and the hypergrowth start. And very quickly, my job scope shifted to how do we manage crazy growth? You know, we had some other plans for esports that had to be slowed down because the servers just simply couldn't handle it. So we have to be really careful about just anticipating that growth and making sure we're ready for it. You know, we don't want the servers to ever go offline like that again if we can avoid it.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of factors, but I think like the number one thing that I want people watching to come away with is that, you know, we care. We really understand that a balanced and sustainable economy is very important for the long term of this project, but I'll also say that sometimes we need to take a step back and take a look at the longer term perspective.
Okay.
And yeah, like there is some volatility, and it can be very painful, right? Especially because many of our players, 50% of you, have never used cryptocurrency before. That's really like a huge victory to me. That's amazing, but we're also dealing with people who have never, like even something like as big as Bitcoin or Ethereum has gone down 95% in the last couple of years, actually, right? So SLP, you know, it's gonna be very volatile. I think people need to understand, and I want to set this expectation that it is gonna be something that is gonna, you know, fluctuate quite in a large manner over time. This is the nature of cryptocurrency, but this is also the nature of commodities. So yeah, but in general, like we want to ensure that we're hitting our roadmap. We are making sure that on the long run, things are reasonably well balanced, and that we're able to help our players.
Yeah, I get it. In fact, some things that you have just mentioned, for example, during this
Lods,
hypergrowth
mag-increase
that
pa
you
kaya
had,
to?
it was
Yes,
like,
yes. Antayin nyo
I
na
think
lang
that I
guys.
read
No?
it was like
Maraming
40%
nagda-dump
a week,
ngayon
something like
kasi
that. So really crazy.
nagtitake advantage
That's
opportunity.
another level. So during that period of time with an SLP in 30 cents, people get used to that. Now it's kind of hard for them to see maybe 10 cents. I mean, when I first joined, it was I think it was 4 cents. I think it was. So yeah, I know, and I kind of understand why people say, okay, why is going down? And maybe they are afraid. So that's kind of the message it's cool to be giving. And you have mentioned it quite well. There's a lot of people really new in the scene, and not only X Infinity, in the whole crypto scene. So it's normal to be afraid.
So
Some
nagbabantay lang
people
ako sa
even
price
say,
list.
okay,
No?
I put here my savings and see if I can make a life, or maybe help me not only work, but also actually help me make my everyday life. And that's even a responsibility. You know, guys, you have a lot of pressure in your shoulder.
Yeah, it's important to remember too that a lot of our users aren't only new to crypto, but they're also new to banking and financial tools in general, right? A large portion of the world doesn't have access to easy access bank accounts or credit cards or loans or, you know, investments and that kind of thing. So again, that's like very exciting and a source of pride for us that people are learning about these tools and getting access to them through our game. But it also means that, you know, I think we need to do some education and continue conversations just like this to make those people feel a little bit more at ease, because, you know, what's new and unknown is scary. You know,
Definitely. So I think, like, you know, some things that we need to work on, as you know, since we've gone from 100,000 people in the community to 1.7 million, right? I think, you know, the community has gotten a little bit like so large that it can be difficult to create like really long lasting friendships. I think that also our educational content might need a facelift, especially for people who are super new to crypto.
And multi-language as well. You know, we've been sort of all English focused, but resources, and that's part of my job. And now, like, programmatically, Paul, he's in charge of the support desk, is working on official communications in other languages. You know, we've launched the AXIE, a Spanish server, the AXIE Filipino server, and we have a few more. I think the Brazil server is just about to launch for Portuguese. So yeah, that's part of our mission as well, is spreading the word to other cultures and languages for better access.
Well, in fact, I don't know if you consider yourself mainstream, because you were not, but in the Spanish market, you have become one. I mean, Axie Infinity now is mainstream. Everybody knows Axie. It's pretty big. It's amazingly big. Like any other big game, such as Clash Royale, maybe Brawl Stars or Free Fire, everybody here in Latin America, at least, knows Axie Infinity or wants to play Axie Infinity. Here you have become like mainstream, yeah.
That's amazing, man. I'm also very confident that you're a big reason that this happened.
Thank you, thank you.
This is not our victory alone. It's your victory as well as for the entire community. So thank you.
Yeah, this is amazing. Here in Latin America, it's amazing. And well, going to the roadmap that you mentioned, maybe you can't answer this, and I know that like those dates is not what you want to say, but are these decks happening in Q3? I mean, this month?
It might be a little bit too specific to go into. I will say that I would say that we're making really good progress on the decks. We are having like certain dex related contracts audited right now.
Cool.
So yeah, things
we're pretty close.
Yeah, we just had a meeting about it a couple of days ago, and it seems like we're all in sync. So you know, I'm starting my launch planning of it.
Yeah.
So
is it crazy to say weeks instead of months? Is that too specific?
Oh, nice.
I think I can't guarantee weeks right now.
Because I might have said that yesterday, so my bad.
Okay.
Okay, so we are pretty close. We are pretty close.
Yeah. So I would say, like, I prefer to talk in terms of pipeline. So access staking is getting incredibly close. I can almost taste it. Dex is getting quite close as well. And we're also making a lot of progress on Battles V2. That's where I see a lot of the progress happening internally.
So may progress sila sa Battles V2.
I think the LAN team is also working very hard, and they're adding a lot of great talent to it. LAN team,
Battles
well,
V2 team,
And
RONIN Dex team. Alright. So may ginagawa din sila.
What's gonna be different there?
Sure. So land, I think there's three kind of ways to look at this, right? And there's three kind of maybe types of gameplay or types of experience that we might think about. So one is this idea of like building up, collecting resources, building up a town,
crafting,
crafting. Kind of building. So that's one thing, right? Harvesting resources.
Lods, maganda pa ba mag-hold muna, Lods?
I think that's one.
I suggest
direction.
na
And then there's this idea of battling.
Abang-abang ka sa talaga sa chart,
forming alliances,
sa price ng
maybe
SLPN.
like guild system, right?
Raids and
raids
invasions,
and
that kind of stuff. Yeah,
so
territory control.
So this is an aspect of land. Right?
Abang ka talaga sa sa mismong price, and then kung yari may certain point na gusto mo na mag-sell, sell ka doon kung hindi ka na comfortable.
Right, where you can build mini games on top of land. So these are the three directions of land.
Sabi ni attorney kahapon,
one right
pero
now,
sinabi niya kahapon di naakyat ng 4 pesos yung SLP, pababa na daw ng 2.
The first kind of
nag-update tayo ayun,
focusing on crafting, building, collecting resources, right? And I think like the art and making sure that is good is going to be like the bedrock, the foundation of land gameplay. then we can add
Tataas
on
pa yan,
battles,
pumapasok ng
and
mga
then we can add on
naka-iOS.
mini-games once that is fully fleshed out.
Naka-iOS.
So we're gonna have like the first release, and then we're
Hindi
gonna
ako
have like
updated yun sa
upgrades
iOS.
to go like
Yeah,
further
I-
into the
The way that we usually do things, right, is that we
Yeah.
will release it and then upgrade
Check
over time.
natin yung AXIE Infinity.
I would have even liked to have done that with the current battle system more, but it's kind of like we released it and then we went into development for the Battles V2, which is kind of right, like similar to the current battle system,
Pray
but
lang kahit
with
mag
some
10 to
key
12 SLP.
upgrades. Yeah.
And for
Saka tayo
example,
mag-cash out.
because you mentioned
Medyo
that
malabo
the
pa yung 10 to
SDK
12.
and, like the third part.
Siguro,
And
kahit nga
powerful
6,
would
no?
this be? For
Mataas na
example,
yan.
Just to mention an example, not only a game, maybe can come, I don't know, like
Mag-increase kaya na 5 to
McDonald's,
6
and say I want to
pesos
have my
this
McDonald's
day.
in-game in the AXIE Infinity.
Possible,
Yes.
possible.
Can I have it?
I think
There's no impact.
Can I sell a burger
5 to 6 is
for
talagang
SOP
yung
and
technical
have
target
a real
natin.
life burger in a house delivered, something like that? It's like
I
going
think-
to
I
another
think
level, but
something
I
like
love
this-
the idea.
Yeah, something like this, making it a
Ilang target mo
distribution
bago
channel for
mag-sell?
products
Sa
and
SLP,
even blockchain products as well. So you could have like e-commerce,
sa
right, like
SLP
merchants,
siguro
and then
nasa
maybe
4.
restaurants, like you order,
Pagbababa
you
sa
can order
4
food
sell.
maybe. Stuff like that
And then
could make a lot of
pag
sense, right? And then
Sa
also,
AXS naman,
yeah, I think that makes sense. It can make sense long term.
Nasa
It's still maybe a little bit
66.
early,
66
but that is all like an amazing
$3
idea.
Yeah, I mean, that's supposed to be the
So,
beauty of
para
the
hindi lang
metaverse,
malugi.
right? Is that things are, NFTs can talk to other NFTs, and there's a whole potential world of like cosmetics and like cross promotions,
Nasa Twitter
and there's a whole
check
intersection
natin.
there with esports as well, and like
Check
content
natin.
creators, where maybe there's a world where we can do like NFT fashions and like merch lines, and you can sell digital versions and have it connected to physical versions. Maybe for esports, we develop some sort of like AXIE TV where you could watch esports through AXIE Land in like, VR or AR, or just, a digital ticket
Full
to
pa
attend
din
a
naman
tournament. Maybe drops would be included with that. Maybe this could be a whole revenue stream for third-party tournament organizers that want to sell digital goods and use that to
babalatuan
crowdfund
ko
part
si
of their
Attorney
events
Libayan ng
or
10K.
connect with their fans
Nako,
or just sell exclusive
napakagalante pala
digital
ni
goods.
Shen
I think the
Nalda.
potential is sort of limitless, but we've got to finish building our foundation first.
Sana
some
all
of
galante,
that
no?
stuff is probably years away, but that's the kind of big ideas we think about for sure.
Mag-donate kay
pretty
Attorney
cool
pag
to have, like, a
tumaas pa.
sight of your vision of what we can achieve
Apas ako dyan,
with
Lods.
the path of
Apas
the
ako
years,
dyan.
It's pretty. I mean, when everything we are doing, creators, community, depends on you guys. Yeah, like you are the leaders here. You are the one that are like saying what's the path
Mag-10 pa
to
kaya
follow.
mga idol?
So having like this
Malabo,
vision
Lods.
of your
5 to
way
6.
of seeing activity,
Real technical
it's
target
like-
natin. Yung
it's
parang
like
possible
we
pa yan.
want as community,
Pero
because I'm
10,
community.
hindi
Of course,
pa.
I'm a creator, and a creator is community. So it's like what we really enjoy to know what's your vision. I know we can't know everything, of course, but I mean how you see
Mga 5 to 6 yan, medyo may katotohanan pa yun.
And it's like you're
Nagbe-breed si
saying about
Libayan
even
ngayon.
watching esports inside AXIE Infinity. I mean, it's pretty big all what you want to achieve.
So, check natin SLP.
Yeah, and
Yep.
Andrew, about esports, can we expect to have like an official
4.16.
tournament, an official competition for next year?
XS.
Because right now everything is community. Are you planning
3343.
like the AXIE Infinities
Uy,
tournament?
puta.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to put a
Abang-abang
timeline
lang
on
tayo,
it because we're at this really delicate part in the alpha where we have so many amazing
Nakaabang lang
things
yung
that are
Binance
like
ko eh.
almost done being developed, and we definitely want to have like version 2 of battles rather, kind of launched and deployed before we start building the super serious esports infrastructure. I think we want our esports universe to be a balance of first party like Sky Mavis run events like an AXIE Pro League, but
Nagbenta ng mga
eventually
house
build that
eggnog
up
si
to
Attorney
support a
Libayan.
lot of third party events along the way. Maybe you have majors and
Attorney
minors that are
Libayan,
owned by
Pascalar naman
different
po.
third parties, or maybe you have local stop-offs in some sort of a circuit, kind of Magic the Gathering style, where each event has some sort of circuit points attached to it, and then those become kind of qualifying points to get you to the World Finals or the AXIE Final. Maybe that's attached to like an AXIE Con, where there's the big esports tournament, but then there's like a cosplay fashion show and all sorts of other little creator initiatives that we could run and have sponsor booths and that kind of stuff. So
4.17
right
SLP
now,
price
like we
check.
never planned on having esports be this private server whitelist. thing.
Hello, Manager
We did that
Libayan, baka
because
tumatanggap
we
kay
have to do server
Scholar.
upgrades on the main server, and to do that, we have to turn off a bunch of features. So this was our way of still enabling some esports in this little preseason, rewarding some of the people that were running events already, but also running some experiments with new organizers that have stepped up and reached out. And it's easy to make a proposal. It's a little bit harder to execute an event. So this is a perfect time for us to see who can, walk the walk and not just talk the talk. So yeah, if AXIE is in alpha, AXIE Esports is in like pre-alpha right now.
Okay, yeah.
So
I have my
yeah.
tournament myself, so yeah, I know. Yeah.
So there are some big plans, but we're still kind of fleshing it out. I think we want to finish this grant period and like collect all that data and then try to interpret, what worked, what didn't, and look at our roadmap and see if anything gets grossly delayed, and then make firm 2022 plans for esports. After that. So we'll probably take a little planning session in January and then figure out what the rest of the year looks like.
Will that include maybe like on-site events to the community to gather there, something like that?
Yeah, I mean, we love the idea of real world meetups and like that energy of getting everybody together. Like that's one thing I think Magic has done really well with their like Friday night meetups and like getting that global energy going. Obviously COVID has made that a lot more difficult, and we've got to find the right way to navigate that ethically and make sure everybody stays
Handa
safe.
nyo na ulit mga resume nyo,
But yes,
sabi ni Witty Boy.
absolutely. I think a huge part of our vision is enabling more and more, real world physical meetups so AXIE folks can meet each other, and that's what community is all about, right? Like
Tara
taking
gawan
these
nating
connections to
scholarship
the real world,
application yung
making
comment
some
section ni
friends,
Attorney Libayan.
finding your neighbors that also play AXIE. I mean, I just did that in my trip in
Tama talaga
Iceland.
si Invested
Who
Lifestyle.
plays AXIE,
Walang
and I met
makakapredict
the
na
3
mangyari sa
AXIE
AXIE
players
kung
in Iceland.
meron naman dapat
That's pretty
bilyonaryo
cool.
na yun.
Guys, I know you're pretty busy. I don't want to take more time from you. I just want to conclude with one last question. How do you both see AXIE Infinity in 5 years?
5 years. Wow.
So I guess I'll go first. So I think in
In
terms
5
of
years daw, ano
the
sana
game,
AXIE?
I think AXIE is only maybe 5 or 8% completed. So I'm super excited for massive upgrades to how we think about AXIE, right? Right now we think of it as kind of like a few kind of interconnected experiences or features, right? Like there's battling, there's breeding, so there's kind of collecting, there's the marketplace. But I think in 5 years we will really see AXIE as an entire universe of games. I think we will start to see it as maybe the
Medyo nagdalawang
main
isip
IP
yung
of the
developers
metaverse.
doon ah.
It might
Pagsabi
even be the
na
largest
saan yung
IP
AXIE in
in the
5
world
years,
at that time.
nag-wow sila.
So yeah, I think I'm just really excited about basically
Medyo
AXIE just
yan,
getting so much larger, and the scope of experiences that you can
Sana ayusin nila yung mga
access
luck
with your
creep.
AXIEs just
Oo
being
nga eh, no?
magnitudes
Sana
higher, right? I think long term it will be impossible for Sky Mavis to build all the content that the community wants, right? So opening it up is basically also a scaling strategy, right? Like we always think about scaling, right? Scaling
Magandang
transactions,
tanghali din
scaling
sa'yo,
the
Lods
Discord,
JR
right? Scaling the
Negrito.
community, but then it's also about scaling the content. And I think the last piece of the puzzle, the most important piece of the puzzle is how can we open up AXIE so anyone can build on top of it, so that every single type of game can be built on top of AXIE, and therefore we can appeal to every single type of person almost on Earth. So yeah, I think that's going to be really important. And then I also have this vision for us taking our relationships that we've built online and turning them into physical world experiences, and maybe even kind of like organizational power structures in the real world, right? So I think there's already kind of AXIE villages that are forming in the
Mabilis ang
Philippines.
shoutout
I
naman.
think that's going to
Rock
continue
Jobel
even more.
Libero, right?
I'm interested in
Pangmalakasan.
exploring some concept like an
Price
AXIE
check
center
tayo.
in every major city,
AXS,
right?
holy
Where
shit.
it's like an AXIE-shaped building that you can see from really far away. And then people are like, oh, that's the AXIE Center. Let's just go there. You go there, you can meet other AXIE owners, you can make content, you can have a tournament, you can have a meetup, maybe you can meet other Sky Mavis team members. So like a really social, physical hub to meet your online friends. I think something like this will be important. And then, yeah, maybe a little bit more out there is like maybe we can even terraform our own country eventually, or buy a really big boat and be in international waters. I think like this is also one of the promises of what we can do. So I'm being 100% serious that I think that things like that are possible, but we just need to take it one step at a time. But yeah, maybe 5 years, things like that will seem even more, or things like that will seem a little bit more plausible.
Yeah, I think to piggyback on that a little bit, like my trip to Iceland, I just got back a couple days ago, but I was talking, they have, you know, sort of these local communities that are starting to pop up, because in that country, there's 4G LTE everywhere. So this idea of like setting up a town kind of in the middle of nowhere, but still being connected to the global economy and the, you know, blockchain world is totally possible. And I think like governance is this really fascinating concept that, despite being a huge part of human history, still has a lot to be figured out. And I think land gameplay is going to serve as a really interesting, like kind of real-time experiment of how a governance model can be built from the ground up for kind of our own gaming purposes. You know, this idea of like an AXIE mayor or like an AXIE constitution. Like, it's one thing to say, hey, I don't like your rules, let's make our own country. But once we make the country, we got to figure out what our rules are and how do we execute the rules. And some things we can do with smart contracts, but some things like the human element, we can't necessarily program away. So how do we, you know, police and govern ourselves to make a successful community for everyone? These are really fascinating big questions that I think will start to come into focus when you're talking about like 5-10-year timelines. On the esports side, I mean, I'm super excited to be able to look at what else has been done in the esports space and say, hey, this worked, maybe this didn't work so well, and take little pieces of inspiration from different esports and build a system that hopefully takes the best of all worlds, enables our creators, and also enables, you know, other than just the 0.01% of elite players to participate in some part of the esports infrastructure. Having the AXIE treasury and all this AXS to use as prizing kind of changes the esports model, where we're not as reliant on sponsors. We can use that real estate in the broadcast to build up content creators, you know, third-party esports events. If we're focused on building the ecosystem, all of that is just a giant marketing vehicle. So I'm pretty excited about the limitless potential of AXIE esports, and especially as we have more games in the ecosystem. I mean, there could be an AXIE MOBA in the future, right? Dota was created on the Warcraft 3 map editor. And then it morphed into a whole game and genre. There could be an AXIE shooter. There could be an AXIE hack and slash. You know, all these games could potentially be competitive and within our IP. There's so much potential there. It's hard to imagine what AXIE esports could look like in 5 years, honestly.
Wow, guys, I gotta have to buy more AXS. Yeah, you went pretty high. No, I'm happy to hear. I'm happy to hear.
I'm gonna have to
all
buy
these
more AXS.
things you have in your mind, having the possibility to use Axis to have different
We need to buy more
genders
AXS.
inside the gaming. It's like you mentioned. I mean, I usually use that same example. I mean, Warcraft 3, I'm sorry, goes into Dota, then Dota 2, and even more games such as League of Legends or Heroes of New Earth and all those games. It's amazing. So guys, thanks so much for your time, for the interview. A lot of information that we didn't know at all. So it's always cool to hear you. You are like the leaders here, the ones that have the path in your mind. So it's amazing to have some sight of what you see.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, man.
Thank you, man. Did you know that I took Espanol in high school too? So en colegio
SLP check.
estudio
4.43.
español
Baba, man.
con mis
Holy
amigos.
shit, holy shit.
Mi nombre de español es Jefe.
Okay.
Muchas
Bienvenido.
gracias por
No.
Y
Hindi yan papalo ng
edad.
20.
Ahora.
iOS kaya Sir Kelan. Wala pala,
you guys something
chinig ko,
from
wala
my
pa.
videos or nothing at all?
Full pa din yung
When I'm
beta.
checking in YouTube.
Tiwala lang pag di
Do you
pumalo
get what
sa
I'm saying
sihin
or
nyo
nothing at all?
A little bit, yeah. I
Malabo
understood what you were
pag
saying
kayo,
when
walang
you
kayo.
introduced us.
Un poquito.
Okay, cool.
Ouch,
Thanks guys, thanks
panintig
again.
hati.
It was a pleasure to have you on my channel. Hope we can repeat this soon.
Walang
Thank you.
boss
Awesome, man.
AX.
That's it guys, thank you.
AXIE.
Bueno chicos, y eso fue todo. Ahí tenemos un montón
Alright,
de data.
so
La
ayan.
verdad es que sé que hay un estado
Ayun yung update ni Gantz. No, sa nakita nyo, merong team na nag-aasikaso sa Ronin decks, and then meron din team nag-aasikaso sa Battles Vito and Land. So iba-iba pala yung team. So that's good to know. So updated na tayo ngayon. So, tingnan pa natin. In crypto networks, you can study a product without context. Alright. So, eto, mainnet 2021, ito yung nakita ko. So, nag-attend siya ng parang ano, no. Hindi ko alam ano tong mainnet. Parang event. So, event to siya ng about cryptocurrency. So, pag-usapan natin ngayon yung ano, yung mamaya na lang yun mamaya. Sige, tuloy mo na lang tayo, Never mind yan. We are growing. Alright, so game iOS. iOS. Meron na ba talagang iOS? Check natin yung iOS Kasi ano AXIE Infinity. Check natin yung website nila. Kasi kanina chinek ko. Mas Boss AXIE Boy, advice. Hold pa rin or sell na? Depende sa'yo, Lods. If ever gusto mong pang long term, hold ka. Pero pag kailangan yung pera, no? Pag inaantay na lang na umakyat ng kaunti, sell na, wag na dalawang isip, no? I think 4 pesos is a good support area for selling. If bababa pa ng 4, naku, sell na agad ng lahat. Yun siguro. Pero, research kayo pa din, no? Research pa din kayo. Kasi baka naman, ngayon, pag bumaba sa 4 peso, no, tapos bukas, tumaas ng 5 peso, ngayon sisisihin nyo ako. Wag naman ganun. So, muna, research kayo. Nasa sa inyo pa din yan, yung decision nyo, kung mag-hold kayo or sell. Pero sa akin kasi ngayon, AXS yung inuhold ko, SLP, wala. Nasa yung ko, nasa inventory ng laro, yung SLP ko. So, ayun, hindi ako nag-hold ng SLP actually. Na-convert ko lahat sa AXS and Bitcoin. So, ayun. Yun lang mo yung advice ko dyan. Nakakatuwa yung ganito. Makita mo na may plans talaga yung devs. Yes, no? May plans talaga yung devs. Hindi katulad sa guys. Hindi katulad sa Plant versus Undead and yun? Kasi may narag pool na na NFT game nung nakaraan. So, titingnan natin yan mamaya, guys. So, ito, nakita nyo, time to talk NFTs and play to earn and investing in the space next up at mainnet 2021. So, nag-attend si Gihos ng mainnet. Parang, cryptocurrency event. So, meron din siyang nagsalita siya. So, maraming partnership na nangyayari, no? Maganda. So, papunta sa mga updates, partnerships, yung AXIE Infinity. So, Ox na Ox. May mga updates. Merong bagong update na breeding fee update. So, maganda yung pinupuntahan ng AXIE Infinity ngayon. Uy, bakit na open to? Huwag ka mag-open, Lods. Huwag mo i-open. Tangin. Alright. So, maganda yung yung pinupuntahan ng AXIE ngayon, kaya tumataas. Check natin yung SLP price, 4.14. Okay, 4.14 AXS, 3326. Tapos, yung ating SLP, nako, maraming nag-pump and dump, mga lodi kicks. Pero hindi pa din yan maapektuhan masyado, no? Ang ingay ng Discord. Alright, so sa Discord, ayan, nandyan yung update sa Discord. Then sa AXS naman, alright, bagsak na. Yung ating support na butas. Hold siguro hanggang 65. Support 65. Tingnan, check natin last support 65. Ito. Pag bumaba pa to sa 65, convert na agad. Convert to USDT. Ayun. 65 yung ating yung ating support dito. Tumaas na ng 4 lods. Yes, tumaas na nga. Balita lods, tumaas na. Attorney, may plans. So lalabas po ba sa 4 yung SLP? Yes, yun ang nangyari ngayon eh. Papunta na hopefully. So lalabas pa yan pag rumami yung breeders natin. Hold guys, itatag nyo loob nyo. Huwag si Boy aksesihin nyo ha. Ako nag-advise. Oh, si Jan Santos daw yung ano nyo. Sisisihin nyo ha. Siya nagsabi ng hold ha. Ako walang, sinabi ko lang if gusto nyo mag-hold, hold. Pero pag gusto nyo mag-sell, sell kayo. Pero if bababa sa 4 peso and then kailangan nyo din yung pera, I would suggest na sell din kayo kung kailangan talaga. Pero pag hindi naman kailangan, baka nag-sell ka pag baba sa 4 peso and then bukas naging 5 pesos, di ba? So, sisisihin nyo ako. Wag ganun. Bahala kayo. Bahala na kayo sa ano, sa research nyo. Basta ako, payo lang. If kailangan nyo talaga, sell na. If hindi naman, hold pa din. Pero ano pa din, take profits while on the way guys, no? So, mahalaga talaga yan na at least ma-lessen yung ano, yung ano yung tawag nito? Yung na-invest mo, yung capital mo. Sana dumami na followers mo, Lods, tapos paraffle ka na AXIE. Sana nga, no? Hopefully, pag lumaki yung channel and then ma-monetize yung channel, pwede din. Nakaka-perfect sa mga breeders yung update. Yes, talagang nakaka-ano sa breeders, men. Literally, maganda yung effect nito sa ano, sa burning ng SLP. Lods, totoo po bang aabot ng 7 SLP? 7, medyo malabo. Siguro 5 himala. Pero pag 7, hindi na legit yan, men. Mga ilang SLP na pinakamalaki na hold, boss. Depende, boss, depende. Secret lang yan, secret. Secret. Alright, so nakita natin, nag-pump si AXS ngayon. Alright, daming bumili oh. Live yan live action yan. Pero nasa 1 minute time frame tayo. So, kaya 15 minutes. Ito, 15 minutes yan. 1 hour time frame. So, hindi mo siya masyado makikita. Pero sa 15 minutes, makita mo siya. Pag sa 1 minute naman, ito. So, maganda tong 1 minute time frame para sa mga gustong makita yung galaw ng SLP every seconds. Ito yung galaw ng SLP in 1 minute time frame. So, ayan. Maraming nag-dump itong mga red, mga traders to. Obviously, mga traders to silang lahat. Basa tayo ng comment. Lods, wait lang. Lods, tuloy-tuloy na po ba yung pagtaas ng SLP? Hindi pa natin masasagot pero hopefully tuloy-tuloy na yan. Ngayon nagko-consolidate, bumababa siya, minsan tumataas kasi sa mga traders na bumili ng pangmalakihan and then nagsisell na ngayon. Yan yung nangyari. So yung mga traders kanina na bumili sa 3 pesos, nag-profit na sila ngayon sa 4 pesos. So tiba-tiba na yung mga nag-invest ng milyon-milyon sa SLP kanina. So may mga traders kasi kanina na bumili ng milyon-milyon na SLP worth of SLP, no, at 3 pesos, 3 plus, and then ngayon 4 na, pwede na silang mag-cash out. So, quick cash na lang yun sa kanila. Like, literally easy money na yun sa kanila sa mga traders. So, pag mas marami kang pera, madali mo lang talaga mapaparami yung pera mo. Kung ganyan ang update, magandang effect talaga sa mga breeders. Salamat, Lods. Nakapag-sell kami kanina at 4.44. Wow, sana all. Sana all. 4.12, so bumababa. Not sure why. Malaman natin effect after ilang days. So, ito ngayon bumababa dahil marami nagsisell. So, nagte-take advantage na sila. So, 4.11 bumababa ng loads. Paano yung AXS? 3316. Supports natin is nasa 65, no? Hopefully, tumaas yung AXS and SLP. Kung may 100k SLP, 1,000 SLP man kayo guys, sell nyo na muna ngayon 500 gusto nyo. Or need, tas tira 500. Para pag mag 5 to 6 or else. Yes, if meron kayong at least, sabi niya dito, if meron kayong 1,000, benta nyo yung kalahati para at least may kita kayo ngayon habang nasa 4 pa. Then yung kalahating natitira, hold nyo lang. Actually, madaming gumagawa niyan. No? Well, that is taking profits while on the way. So, that's good. That's a good decision. Kunin mo yung kalahati, then hold mo yung kalahati. Bukas pa effectivity ng update po. Eh di magtuloy-tuloy po yan till 10 pesos. No, it's hindi dahil mag-effect na yung yung update tataas na agad yan. Depende pa yan kasi either dadami yung breeders, dadami yung magiging mababurn na SLP, and then ang mangyayari niyan mas maraming mababurn kaysa, tapos magi-equal siya doon. Hindi naman magi-equal, siguro mas hahabulin niya yung nami-mint na SLP. And that will be a cost na medyo tataas ng konti yung SLP. Ngayon, tumataas siya, yung SLP guys. In reality, tumataas siya dahil maraming na-hype. Legitimately, maraming na-hype. Maraming bumibili ng SLP ngayon. Mga traders, lalo na mga traders. Maraming bumibili. And at certain point, magsisell din yan sila. So basically, tataas yan and then babagsak talaga. Pero hindi talaga bagsak. Mabagsak kaunti. Kasi meron namang iba nang mag-hold. Like literally, if bumili ka ng 1 million pesos worth of SLP kaninang 3 pesos, no? Kaninang 3.30, kunwari, 3.50. And then ngayon, nag 4.3. So, almost, so almost doblehin yung pera mo nun, di ba? Yung 1 million mo, naging 1.7 million na, 1.6 million, di ba? So, malaki-laki na din yon kahit papano. So, maraming gumawa nun, kaya itong mga red nakita nyo, ayan yung mga traders yan na nag-sell na ng kanilang binili kanina. So, if marami kang pera, maganda talaga ganito yung mga hype na mangyayari and then sell ka agad at a certain point na malaki na yung profit. Yung hindi ka masyadong magiging gahaman, malaki talaga. Lalo na yung mga tulad nung sagala. If bumili ka nung sagala, nasa magkano ba yung nasa gala? Meron kasing nag times 6 kasi yung pera nila dun eh. If bumili ka kunyari ng 1 million, within a few hours, nag times 6 yung gala. So 1 million mo naging 6 million. So talagang if may pera ka talaga, talagang easy money talaga. Basta marunong ka lang sa trading. SLP check tayo. 4.11, AXS 3.3k. So maganda. Yun, nakaabot na ng live Lodi. Yun, shoutout sa iyo Ruby Anserano. Profit yan sa mga sell shorts. Yes, I completely agree with you. Profit talaga yan sa mga nag-sell shorts. Lods, saan tingin mo abot to? 5 pesos kaya? Hindi pa natin masasabi if maggagawan to ng 5 pesos. Pero sa nakita nyo, bumababa na, nag-4 na. So, I think the last support talaga for me is yung 4 peso. Change topic, na usog yung selfie natin. Hindi naman sa ganun yan nausog. So, if gusto nyo mag-sell at 4 peso, sell na. Sell na kayo, guys. Ayun talaga yung masasabi ko sa inyo, no? Check natin na 0.0. Wait lang ah. Nag-green din si BTC kaya nag-help din na mag-pump si SLP. Wag na sana mag-crash si Bitcoin ang bumaba yung dominance niya. Yes, tama, tama. Doon pa sa update na burning rate ng SLP sa pag-breed, may effect po ba sa price yun ng SLP? Medyo may konting effect siya dahil yung ang tawag nito, yung burning sa breeding, 'di ba 300 SLP gagawing 600. So madodoble yung burning ng SLP. So ito pa lang yung way to burn SLP pero magdo-double siya, which is makaka-help siya ng kaunti sa economy ng Axie Infinity. Let's kailan mo magsimula season 19 at RONIN Index? By next month yata yun yung talagang target ng mga developers. Pero antayin na lang natin. Pero within next month, ayun talaga yung goal. Magstay po kaya ito sa 4 pesos hanggang bukas. Check natin. So, titingnan natin no if basta yung sabi ko nga, if kailangan mo talaga ng pera, take profits before bumaba sa 4 peso. So, yun talaga yung masasuggest ko. Pero, if hindi naman gaano kailangan, semi-kailangan lang, benta mo kalahati, iwan mo kalahati. Pero depende pa din sa iyo, do your own research muna bago ka gumawa ng isang action sa investment mo. Kasi pera mo din yan pera mo din yan. So, ikaw may control niyan, wag mo isisi sa iba yung kawalan or pag-gain mo ng pera. Kasi pera mo yan, ikaw magko-control niyan. Bago magsimula RONIN Index sa season 19, dapat makabili na ng team. Sure, tataas na price ng AXIE. I agree. Sir, ba't nagmamahal mga AXIE now? Nagmamahal yung mga AXIE kasi yung WETH natin, I think is, check natin yung WETH. Oops, naubusan yung battery yung ko. Yung isa kong mouse. Itong battery. Naubusan ng battery yung isang mouse natin. Alright. Ox na ba? Lubat? Lubat din yung battery. Lubat. Dalawa kasi ginagamit ko. Ito, meron na tayong battery. Wait lang. Gumana. Ayun, gumana. Naisikam tayo. Nag-loading lang pala ng konti. Alright. So, check tayo. Medyo nag-ano lang siya nagko-consolidate, accumulate siya ng kaunti. Pero, ayun nga, sa 1 minute time frame natin, medyo madami-dami na yung nagbabay. Sa nakita nyo, medyo marami na yung green. Alright. Maganda tong nangyayari. Uy, nawala yung nag-close. Ba't nag-close? Nag-close low di awits. History. Peke yung battery min. Try ko lang. Okay na siguro. Ayun, okay na. PC setup reveal idol. Pwede. I-reveal ko na lang sa sa page na lang sa Facebook ko. Ano pa ba? Pag-stay po kayo, wait lang, nasagot na natin yan eh. Sir, ba't nagmahal mga AXIE ngayon? Eto, maganda to, maganda. Check tayo sa marketplace. Kasi meron tayong budget pambili ngayon eh. Kasi, basta meron. Anyways, tingnan natin sa marketplace. Refresh tayo para maganda. Marketplace. So, 0.4. Typical, ano natin, aqua. Pure aqua, 0.055. So, ganun pa naman din sa marketplace. Check natin yung magandang build na magandang build. May mga ano ba kayo guys, masasuggest na magandang midline aqua? Kasi yan din yung ini-explore ko eh. Nga pala guys, anong tawag nito? Yung isa kong aqua, yung binili ko, yung fake aqua ba? Fake plant na aqua binili ko. Binenta ko ulit kasi ayun, maganda naman, tumataas naman MMR ko. Ngayon nasa 1.4 na yung MMR. Kahit ilang laro pa lang, 1.4 MMR. Nabenta ko yung yung fake plant, yung kakabili ko lang. Ayun yung binenta ko kasi pag may beast akong, walang problema sa aqua plant kalabanin, no? Walang problema. Pero pag kalaban ko beast, kasi naglalast stand parati, umaapoy. Kaya doon ako natatalo, almost parating natatalo pag beast yung kalaban, pag ABP yung kalaban. Pero pag AAP, walang problema, kayang-kaya sa natin, sa build natin. Gusto ko sana yung may shoal star para walang last stand, lalo na pag beast yung kalaban. Tingin mo Lods, possible 5 pesos ito bukas, opinion mo? Possible bukas. May possibility, no, maging 5 pesos kasi yun yung parang real target natin. Hindi siya magiging 10 or magiging 7. Pero yung pinaka-target lang natin is umabot siya ng 5. Himala na yung 6 actually, himala na yun. So 4 to 5 is the technical target talaga sa itong update na to. Wait ko RONIN Dex bago mag-cash out. Yes. Pwede yan. Pwede. Shoutout kay Mylene Adriatico. Shoutout kay John GTV. Risky Upstream Swift Escape Nemo. Check natin yan. Risky Fish Upstream. Risky Fish Upstream Swim, and then Swift Escape. Goldfish yata yan eh. Hindi Nemo. Hindi, na eh. Tapos shoal. Ay hindi, shoal ba? 0.06. Hindi, peke yan. 0.072. So ito yung presyo niya ngayon. Sip Escape, Shoal, Risky, Nemo. 0.72. So $225. Panggitna. Yan pansin ko din sa Beast nung second day ng season 2. Dati kapag 3 cards kahit walang Shuriken Star, sure na deads na siya. Pero ngayon need mo talaga Star Shuriken. Yun din yung ko eh, yung nalulugi yung ko, yung Aqua. Kasi naka Bane, naka Piranha, naka Nemo, and then naka Goldfish. So malalaki yung damage. Pero pag umaapoy, dun tayo nalulugi kasi imbis na backline na yung kakalabanin natin, may umaapoy pa na midline. So talagang talagang masasayang yung tawag nito, masasayang yung chance kasi unang-una makakapag-ipon ng cards yung kalaban, and then makapag-ipon siya ng energy. Imbis na dapat titira na tayo nun. So umapoy pa talagang ilang beses din nangyari kaya talagang sinabi ko na mas sana imbis na nag-bane ako, nag-shoal star na lang ako. Mas maganda pa yung star shuriken para sa akin kaysa hero's bane. In reality, lalo na pag beast yung kalaban mo. Kasi mataas yung moral ng beast eh. And then, pag mataas yung moral ng beast, malaking chance na mag-crit yan or mag-last stand yan. So, ayun talaga yan. Ano update sir sa SLP? Bakit nag-pump? Bakit nag-pump yung ating SLP? Dahil sa breeding fee adjustment update. So, bukas, yung AXS cost per breed natin is marireduce from 2 AXS to 1 AXS. So, yung mga breeders natin, pwede silang mag-breed ng mga axis nila sa gamit ng 1 AXS lang. Pero yung SLP cost nila is magiging double. Almost, actually double talaga. From 300 SLP virgin, 600 SLP na. So, mas lalaki ng kaunti yung burning ng SLP. Kaya, ito, tumaas lahat kasi may update nga. So, sa mga kakagising lang dyan, and then pagkita nila, uy, tumaas, SLP, wow, sana all, diba? Hindi yata pwede upstream tsaka Nemo. Kaya nga hindi pwede. Kasi same lang sila ng parts. Lods, diba may beast ka na may cottontail, wag ka na mag-Nemo, may energy generator ka na. Ayun, ginawa ko, sinop ko na yan. Hanap ka ng high shield for midline, sir. Yes, gusto ko din sana, maging mag-reptile. Pero yung build ko kasi, papakita ko sa inyo yung build ko, ha. Wait lang. Dami akong files dito, Pasensya. Uy, naka-log out tayo. Wait lang. Lalagin muna ako. Papakita ko sa inyo yung lineup ko ngayon. Alright. Hanap ka ng high shield for midline. Oo, Lots Goldfish. Nemo, Oranda, Champ, Goldfish. Pang midline ba yan, sir? Nemo, Oranda, Champ, Goldfish. Ayan na, Ox na. Ox na. So, ito yung ating team ngayon. Nemo, Oranda, Champ, Goldfish. Ito yung team ko ngayon. Wait lang, papakita ko sa inyo. Ito yung plant. So, typical plant, steal, heal, tapos gain energy. Tapos, meron tayong Dust Terminator, 44 speed, 53 health. So, mas mabilis to sa mga, Reptile Terminator. Yung mga violet, mas mabilis to. Advantage to na Dust. Ito yung ito yung binenta ko. Actually, ito. Ito yung build niya, naka-sweep escape, hero's bane, crimson. So, matataas yung damage. Talaga mataas. Maganda siya. And then, gusto ko din yung, medyo mataba yung itsura ng aqua dahil ma-intimidate yung kalaban. Pag tingin nila, plant to? O, diba? Kala nila plant, aqua pala yun. Kaya pinangalanan ko to ng fake plant. Pero problema ko dito, walang problema pag kalaban ko yung mga aqua, AAP, or mga reptile pa yan, RAP. Pero pag may beast akong nakakalaban, which is, madaling kalabanin yung beast para sa akin. Kasi, dati may mga BBP ako. Hindi ako nahihirapan gano'n sa beast. Pero ngayon, ito yung nangyari. Every time maburburst ko yung, yung beast, nagparating pumapasok sa last stand yung beast. So, maraming masasayang na energy sa akin. May masasayang, no? And then, yung last stand pa talaga ng beast, hindi lang 2 bars, 3 bars, minsan 4 bars pa talaga. So, 2 tira, 2 energy pa yung sasayangin ko. And then, yung kalaban, makakapag-ipon ng energy and makakapag-ipon ng cards. So, disadvantage talaga na wala tayong shoal star, kaya pinakawalan ko to. So, ito yung beast natin dati. No? And then, yung isa kong aqua. I-sync natin. So, ito yung bago. So, ito, Ito ano to, for the meantime lang to na aqua na gagamitin ko muna. Kasi gusto ko muna to i-explore din. So, Swift Escape, meron tayong semi-backdoor. Semi-backdoor lang yan. And then, naka-risky fish, clamshell, upstream swim. So, ano lang, standard aqua build. Hindi ganun ka-OP, pero puro damage yung card. So, yeah, I think sakto lang to pang ano. Hindi gano'ng kalakas na aqua, pero sakto-sakto lang. Naka 57 speed din. So, tapos yung ano niya, ID niya is 3.3 million. So, medyo may advantage tayo sa speed. Yun yung maganda nito. And then may semi backdoor. Kaya siguro tingnan natin if kaya niyang mapataas yung MMR natin dito. Kasi if kaya naman, hindi na tayo bibili ng reptile. Kasi tinitingnan ko din kung hindi gagana yung aqua ko sa Dust Terminator ko. Mag-reptile ako sa mid. Ito kasi backdoor ko to eh. Hindi backdoor, backline ko to eh. And then, ini-explore ko na lang anong magandang midline. If maganda ba yung aqua pang midline, pang pare sa Terminator. Or if maganda ba magkaroon ng midline na reptile na pure para malaki damage and then matigas. Yun din yung gusto ko eh. Tinitingnan ko yung ano ko, mga options ko. Pero ngayon, eto kasi kakaswap lang nito. Mamayang bukas ko pa ito malalaruan. So, hindi pa tayo pwede mag-play ngayon. So, ayun. Hindi pa tayo pwede mag-play. Sayang yung SLP natin na ma-earn. So, ayun guys. Shipwrecking. Check natin yan. Maganda yan eh. So, X na natin yan. And then, back na tayo sa dito. 4.13. Okay. So, tumataas ng bahagya. SLP. So, may nag-dump. Malamang trader. AXS. Pumping at 1 minute time frame. And then, tingin tayo, explore tayo sa marketplace. And then mamaya, meron tayong titingnan na video about doon sa isang NFT game na nag-rug pull. So, maganda yon. Shipwreck, Shooting Song, Aquaponics, Tail Slap. Tingnan natin yung mga suggestions nyo guys. Tingnan natin yan. Iisa-isahin natin yan. Mukhang magaganda naman yan eh. Nemo Oranda Champ Goldfish. Nemo. Nga pala no. Medyo marami tayong time ngayon dahil naka-lockdown kami dito. Oranda. Heroes Bane na naman. Champ. Hindi, yan lang yung ano ko eh. Pero anyways, tingnan natin. No? Na aqua? Wala naman eh. Wala. So, Sponge, Risky, Nemo, Shoal. Tingnan natin. Oh, Sponge, Risky, Nemo, Shoal. Medyo pricey ano. 0.078. So, apply attack to this AXIE if its shield breaks. Maganda. Meron siyang pure attack. And then may energy gain. 6 million. Ano pa? Tataas pala needs ng SLP. Hold lang until 20 sa SLP. Hindi ako makapag-assure sa iyo, Lods. Lods Mylene Adriatico na tataasin hanggang 20, no? So, medyo, ano pa yan, too good to be true pa yung 20 per SLP. So, tingnan natin tong Shipwreck, Shooting Song, Aquaponics Tail Slap. So, maganda bumili ngayon kasi mura pa. Actually, kahapon mas mura. Or pareha lang. Tingnan natin. Madaming Shipwreck, no? Maganda ba talaga tong Shipwreck na card? Kasi, ano eh, hindi ko alam yung ano niyan, effect niya masyado. Shipwreck, Shooting Song, Aquaponics. Anemone? Heal to ah. Tail Slap. Risky. All. Tama ba yung binasa ko? Siguro yung sponge yung mali. Tama naman ah. Pero wala. Shelter maganda sa plant loads para kung may beast man na kalaban di mag-critical. Shelter. Hermit. Hermit. Oo nga, no? Pero ang gusto ko kasi, matigas siya, pero may damage. Pwede din tong shelter, pero walang damage yung shelter eh. Yun din yung iniisip ko eh. Sayang yung ano, energy if walang damage. Arrangements ng cards lang yun. Yes, I agree. Minsan arrangements ng cards, minsan lucky crits, and minsan swerte lang talaga. Yan talaga yung na-observe ko. Pero mas gusto ko pa talaga i-upgrade talaga yung midline ko sa totoo lang. Hero's Bane, no. It's a no for me sa Hero's Bane. Mas maganda pa Shoal Star. Try looking for Sponge sa midline Aqua. Sponge sa midline Aqua. Shipwreck. Maganda pa talaga tong Shipwreck. Apply attack to this AXIE if it shield breaks. May damage, may shield. Pwede din. Magkano ba to? 0.55. Mura lang, no? Mura lang siya. Kumpara mo sa, iba. Mura. Pwede to. Tingnan pa natin ibang option natin. Mura to. Maganda ba talaga tong Sponge? Shipwreck. Kasi target ko 2K MMR eh. Pwede reptile na backdoor sa mid, sir. Oo nga, no? Try spike. Tingnan natin. Ano magandang reptile sa tingin nyo mga idol? Ano magandang midline na reptile? Yung may backdoor. Yung, di ba may try spike backdoor to eh. Try spike. I think, Tiny Dino. Kasi may nakalaban ako. Papakita ko sa inyo. Tingnan natin. May nakalaban ako. Isang pure reptile. 1v1 siya sa Dust Terminator ko Tingnan nyo. Medyo talo ako doon. Pero tingnan natin. Kasi magandang labanan yun eh. Saan ba yun? Oh my goodness. Saan na yun? Eto. On pala natin yung background music natin. So dito, ito yung beast na nakalaban natin. Then ito reptile pure. Ito, yun yung sinasabi ko. Nag-Heroes Bane ako, pero umapoy pa. Maganda sana Shoal Star to para wala ng apoy. Tingnan nyo. Buti hindi na umapoy yun. Pero Tiny Dino, 156 damage. Grabe ang laki. Maganda talaga yung Tiny Dino. Eto. 1v1 situation na. Ako na una. Ito, Dust Terminator. So ito yung tapon ko. Sobrang laki ng shield niya. Promise. Nag-miss siya. Nag-champ. Tiny Dino. Then champ. Sobrang laki. Pares-parehas lang kami ng ano ng energy and card. So, ayun. So, na-block yung critical. Ito ngayon, oh, sobrang laki ng ano niya, shield niya. Champ. Wala pa din. Tapos nag-crit. Hindi siya nag-crit, pero wala tayo. Ayun, talo tayo. Talo yung Dust Terminator natin sa ano niya. So, yung build niya lang is, ano ba yung build niya? Yung build niya lang is naka-scalpy lang siya eh. Naka-scalpy lang siya eh. Ito yung mga matches ko guys. Tingnan natin yung mga matches sa ano. Ano ba yung magandang match dito? Pambili po bakal. Anyways, sige na. Ox na yun, ox na yun. Ox na yun, ox na yun. Yan. Wawa naman nagbenta kahapon ng SLP. Juggling backdoor na may poison na lang tas makunat na plant. Umay sa kalaban na ganito. Juggling backdoor na may poison na lang tas makunat na plant. Shoutout naman kay Brotherhood Motivational. Pwede reptile na backdoor sa mid, sir. Reptile mid backdoor. Terror Champ or Tiny Turtle? Tiny Turtle. And then Incisor. Incisor. Nahihirapan tayo. Tingnan natin yung cards. Incisor. Andito yun eh. Saan ba yun? Ito. Incisor. Incisor. Uy! Ang mahal. Kulang na. So, maganda din, no? 0.09. 6 out of 7 na, oh. Malaki na yung breed count. 41 speed. Halos 41 speed naman lahat, eh. Tri-Spike, Champ, Incisor, Tiny Dino. Maganda. Aqua na may Ronin. Tri-spike, jump. Okay. Aqua na may Ronin. Bakit may Ronin? Bakit lalagyan ng Ronin yung Aqua? Meron 0.2. Aqua na may Ronin. Aqua pero beast yung cards. Useless pa din. Pero kahit papaano mataas yung health. Mataas-taas ng konti. Pero wala pa din. Kung ganito man lang, mag-mech ka na lang na beast. Medyo mura pa. Lods, after round 4, Lods, taas na damage niyan. Tiny Dino. Yes, yun nga din yung tinitingnan ko sa Tiny Dino. Boss, okay na po ba Ronin to Binance Direct Transfer? Yes, okay. I think okay naman. Wala naman naging problema. Lods, padagdag po pala WETH kinulang pang-upgrade. Later may pag-uwi ko sabay usap ulit tayo. So may bibili ulit tayo ng WETH. So shoutout din pala kay hindi ko na shoutout nung nakaraang video kay Sir Red Liwanag. So shoutout sa kay Sir Red Liwanag dahil bumili siya ng Trezor and bumili siya ng 100,000 pesos worth of WETH sa atin. So shoutout. Shoutout sa iyo, Sir Red Liwanag. Thank you for trusting, Boy AXIE. Sa mga gustong bumili ng WETH, comment lang kayo sa page ko. Direct comment kayo doon. Huwag kayo maniwala sa mga kung ano-ano pa. Kasi may kumukuha ng natin proof of transaction natin. Katulad nung pinost ko, AXIE, AXIE Team Isko. Yung napost ko, scammer. So, huwag kayo maniwala sa mga tumatawag sa inyo or may bibili ng SLP na worth 8 pesos or pag too good to be true scam, literal. Ay, solid yung ginagawa mo, boy, na reptile The best yan, tri-spike na yan sa dusk mo. Yes, yun din yung gusto ko din Tri-spike. Kasi gusto ko talaga na yung midline ko, hindi siya agad mapapatay. Kasi yung bird ko na ginagamit ko kahapon, okay naman. Pero useless yung Nemo kasi minsan lang magpakita. So, yun talaga. Parang naumay ako doon. Tapos, hindi ko pa hindi ko pa talaga ma-burst talaga yung kung may mga beast akong kalaban or plant kasi nagla-last stand. Ayun din yung talagang naumay talaga ako. Kasi yung pag magla-last stand kasi yung kalaban, makakapag-ipon sila ng cards and energy. So, tayo naman, gagastos. Talagang goals dun. So, tingnan natin sa sa marketplace. Try spike na apply speed -2 attacker for 2 rounds. Incisor. Maganda ba tong incisor? Maganda ba incisor pagkalaban mga aqua? Tapos naka tiny turtle, champ. Tinitingnan ko kasi tiny turtle, champ, and then ano yung isa? Champ, tapos incisor, tapos tri-spike, and then tiny dino. Tri-spike, tiny dino. Maganda talaga may tiny dino Ito mahal, 0.09. Yung natin, budget natin medyo budget ko kasi nasa 0.77 lang talaga. Ayoko nang gumastos ng mas malaki pa. Pwede naman pero ayoko nang gumastos pa ng malaki-laki pa. Kasi may hinahabol pa nga tayo. Anyways, palitan mo yung dino ng allergic reaction. Lods, ano ulam nyo? Gutom na ako. Kain na muna tayo. Yes, kain na muna tayo. Combo siya sa incisor plus allergic. Combo ba? Incisor and allergic. Tingnan natin. Allergic. Hindi ko narinig yan ah. Combo ba? Palitan mo yung combo siya sa incisor plus allergic. Incisor, allergic. Wala namang ano ah. Wala namang ay, pureness. Ah, oh my. Kaya pala. Kaya pala ang mahal kasi naka-pure. Hindi ko nakita yung pureness na filter. Combo pala to guys, no? Maganda. Tapos tri-spike. Tri-spike. Tapos champ. Yan, champ. Bakit walang champ? Wala yatang champ. For sale. Ox pala, no? Ox pala siya, guys. So, ito. Tag 0.11. No? Napakamahal naman. 0.11. Combo talaga tong incisor and allergic. Tapos may champ. Parang ano siya. Backdoor Terminator pero mas pinalevel up ng konti. Yun yung kalalabasan niya. Para kasing laging yung incisor pero may defense. Tama ka Lods. Parang laging siya. Tapos medyo malaki. Tapos may backdoor siya. Kaya mahal. Aqua na may shooting song. Hero's Bane. Angry Lam upstream, sir. Tingnan natin, men. Tingnan natin. Kasi yun dalawang option lang talaga. Reptile or Aqua. Sa midline. Ngayon, meron tayong Aqua na ano. Aqua lang na sakto lang. Walang Nemo. Pero tingnan natin. Laruan muna natin yun. If tataas naman yung MMR natin, tingnan natin. Pero pag hindi, palit tayo reptile. Sige, tingnan natin. Para kasing laging, sir. Oh, sure ba yan? Ilang MMR na abot mo, Bowden Power TV sa sa laging, incisor. Ilang MMR na abot mo dyan, Lods? 3, no? Yung pureness. Tapos, reptile. Ilang MMR na abot? Tapos, try, spike. Okay. Try, spike. And then, incisor, try, spike, lagging. Tapos, champ. Uy! Oh, hindi pala. Kala ko mura eh. Wait. Bakit ganun? Oh, kaya pala. Hindi pala dapat yan. So, sa pureness naman, so 0.087. Medyo may kamahalan pa din, no? Tapos 40 speed. Medyo may kamahalan pa din siya. Okay. Muna ba? Medyo may kamahalan siya, pero sige. Add natin sa option natin. And then, try natin yung may aqua na shooting song. Kasi sinasabi niyo yun shooting song. Bane. Lam. And then upstream. Wait. Hindi. Shooting song and double talk pareha lang yun Hindi pwede yung double talk at saka ang grillam. Hindi pwede. Pros and cons niya, mabilis pumatay ng plant kasi allergic dust and rep mo. Ano yung cons niya naman, Lods? Back to SLP reading going down ulit. 2.3k lang boss kasi 40 speed lang rep ko. Hindi dapat Ronin lang meron siya. The rest is aqua pa din. Hindi pwede sabay laging incisor kasi pareho. Yes. Ginagawa ko yun just pag round 2. Pag lumabas tayo allergic, bibitaw ko na sa plant. Incisor allergic 3 times. Pumalo na ng 15 cents SLP loads pa check. Ox naman, kanina 4.08. So, ay ito. SLP natin, 1 minute time frame to, 15 minutes. Check natin. So, yan sa 15 minutes. Sa 1 minute kasi tayo nakaabang So, tingnan natin yung galaw every seconds and every minute. So, ito. Maraming nag-buy at this point. Then, ngayon, Ox naman, kahit papano, at least hindi siya bumababa sa 4 pesos actually. Sa AXS. Oh, AXS ngayon. Kumusta ka na? AXS. Medyo wala, ipataas baba yung AXS. Pero, andito lang siya sa loob. Moving sideways lang siya, no? So, nagmo-moving sideways lang siya. So, eto, at least, stable. Kumpara na sa pump kanina. So, ngayon, stable siya. $65 yung 65 point. At least, I think 66. Yes, 66 yung niya. Support niya ngayon. 66 yung support. I think so. Uy, bumagsak. Putik. Bumagsak. Bumagsak sa 65.74. Uy, gagi, men. Paano na yan? Binance. Tingnan nyo na agad. Binance. Gawa siguro ng latest tweet para sa Meron na bang live si attorney? Tingnan natin si attorney Kasi sikat si attorney Maganda yung mga ni attorney. Mga scam niya, no. Mga sinasabi niya parang parang nakakaumay minsan. Pero ox lang din at least. Okay. Eto. May titingnan tayo DeFi plants. Ito, rug pull. Nag-rug pull si DeFi plants loads ito. Ito, check natin, tingnan natin.
Alright, so narag pull nga tayo ng My DeFi plans, no? So, congratulations, Dexter Place, you won this one. So, ayan, wala na yung website nila. Magko-content ang plant versus hindi sakto, may patch pero mas interesting to. So, I think mga nasa 2,000 BNB mahigit yata natakbo nila. So, may 1,000 BNB na nung nakaraan. So, mga 40 million pesos mahigit yung nakuha nila. And ayun na nga, comment na naman dito, rug pull bro. And so redemption, no? Like na natin to.
Like na natin to.
Discord group ng mga nasaktan, no? Talpak din ako dito pero kay Big Daddy, wawa si Big Daddy. 200,000 nilagay niya dito. Okay lang daw na sabihin ko yun. Ayan. So, nag-goodbye kids tayo dito. Daming red flag. Siyempre, nag-expect yung iba na PVU. Kasi meron din nag-upload na, ako sino yung Singaporean ba yun? Kaya may Singaporean vlogger na nagko-cover ng PVU doon. Tapos, times 100 daw. Ayan yung exact amount ni ano. Yan, 220,000 yung tinalpak niya.
220,000.
Kung hindi bumaba yung value, almost 250k na yung ano. So, ito nga yung mga group ng ROI in 3, no? Na 1, 2, 3 tayo. Kaya ngayon ko munang gumawa ng review hanggat wala yung game. Sabi pa sila announcement 28, no?
DeFi plans yan, na
wala
DeFi
silang
plans.
mailabas na update. Tapos bago pa mawala yung site, meron dito screenshot ito ba yun? Or yung mga nag-chat sa akin na wait lang. Wala dito eh. Ayan, nag-Indonesian. Malaysian ba ito? Indonesian. Tapos nag-thank you pa siya dito dun sa chat group si Mr. Cross, no? In Cross with Trust. No? Ayan. Salamat. So, wala na. Battery marami din makatulog, no? So, yung nilagay ko naman dito is katuwaan lang. So, sayang. Maraming nagsugal. Kasi bundle, unlimited lahat, grains, no? Ipapatest pa nga sa amin.
So ito yung
Makita
may
yung game.
DeFi
Kaya
plant na laro.
Review ko na daw. Siyempre ako munang i-review hanggat wala yung game.
Ito yung DeFi plant na NFT game din. So para din siyang Plants versus Undead, pero na rug pull sila. Ano ibig sabihin ng rug pull? Ibig sabihin nun, yung developer nila, tinakasan silang lahat. Lahat ng perang na-invest, lahat ng SLP, lahat ng AXS, which is yung token nila sa DeFi plant, tinakas ng mismong developer. And ngayon, yung red flag doon is yung developer nila, hindi nila kilala. Walang mukhang pinapakita yung developer nila. Katulad sa Plants vs. Undead, walang muka yung developer ng Plants vs. Undead. So, anytime, pwede silang i-rug pull, takasan ng developer nila. Unlike sa AXIE Infinity, na ayun, maraming partnership with iba't ibang trading platforms. And then, kilala naman natin si Jihos, yung buong team, kilala naman. So, if tatakbo sila, malamang parang sinira rin nila yung buhay nila. So, ayun, kaya may talagang yung AXIE Infinity. Meron talagang, may trust yung tao dahil nakita natin yung mismong developers, yung mga mukha nila. Unlike dito sa DeFi plants, so ayun, hindi nila kilala. Hindi nga nila mismo alam anong pangalan ng developer nila. At yung kahit sa Plants vs. Undead, hindi rin nila alam. So I think that's the number one red flag sa mga NFT game tulad nito. So ayan, na-rug pull sila. Tig 200,000 peso. Ito si Big Daddy Dax TV. 200,000 peso nakulimbat sa kanya. So imaginein mo, kaka-invest niya lang. And then, ayun, rug pull agad. 200,000. Napakalaki nun, men. 200,000. Asan mo hahanapin yung 200,000? Diba? Ito sila. Ito, pati si Sir Ross. Itong tinitingnan natin.
Marami ako tinatanong sa dev.
Nakapagtalpak din siya.
Na ilang questions. Di rin ako actually sinasagot. Tapos hindi pa buo yung grammar nung cross for an American. Tinatanong ko siya. Tapos yung pinaka naka sa akin doon, nakapag-trigger yata sa akin na hindi talaga siya American. Kasi tinanong ko kung anong time zone siya, di ba? Kung Pacific ba siya or Eastern. Sabi niya lang GMT. Sabi ko ng GMT plus what? Hindi niya na ako ni-replyan. Kasi nga sabi niya matutulog na muna siya eh. Tapos may mga itatanong pa ako. Wala, hindi niya rin ako sinasagot. Tapos ayaw niya rin na i-pareview sa akin yung mga tanong. So, yun doon yung mga red flag. So, ayun nga. So, congrats kay Dexter. No? Tama yung advice niya. Pero, wala, maraming sumugal. Ayun, bibilang na raw ng pera si Mr. Cross. So, wala, kasama talaga yun sa ganitong buhay ng crypto. No? Maraming sumusugal. PVU, ano ba ito? 2.0, no? Pero kaya nga yun yung advice lagi, no? Bukod sa do your own research, lagay mo rin yung kaya mong mawala na pera. Kasi wala tayong magagawa din. So, kasi ito yung wallet nun. Hindi na yung wallet nun kanina eh. Ayan, dahil pa nagpasok, ito pala yung dahil pa nagpasok kanina ng Nag-open kasi sila pa ng bundles kanina. Dahil pa nagtalpa kayo last minute oh. Naglagayan pa sila dito. Ayun na, wala na. Nakuha pa siya ng 250 BNB kanina. Tapos dami niya nakuha mga mahigit 2,000 BNB yung kasi nung first day. 1,000, ano yung first day, yung parang una niyang lipat, 1,000 plus na BNB. Tapos, ang daming bumili ng mga Eden bundle nila, yung mga tools. Ayan. Tapos sabi nga ng red flag, eh. Kahit yung mga nagsasabi ng red flag, kahit ako naglagay din ako. Wala katuwaan lang din. No? So, wala. Sayang yung nilagay natin. Pero malaking lesson learned to sa iba. Masakit. May nagpiping sa akin, di raw siya makakatulong, di niya raw alam gagawin. Lalo na si natin.
May crypto blades pa kaya? Meron pa din, pero wala na din yan. Goals na yan.
Sa kanya. Pero okay lang yun.
Ponzi.
Part yun
Ponzi
talaga
ba
ng,
yung ano? Ito? Itong DeFi plants, Ponzi. Yes, na Ponzi sila actually. Kasi na-rug pull sila. Ano yung ibig sabihin ng rug pull? Sinabi ko nga sa inyo, yung rug pull is takbuhan sila ng developer, tangay lahat yung mga BNB na na-invest ng mga gamers sa kanila. So ayan, pain sa kanila, Lods.
dito sa clip.
Anong games pala yan? Hindi ko marinig. DeFi plants po. DeFi plants. So merong My DeFi Pets, merong Plants vs. Undead, merong DeFi plants. Itong DeFi plants, ito yung kakarag pull lang. Ibig sabihin, natakbo na ng developer yung mismong pera nila. So wala na. Na-scam silang lahat. Ito din sa Plants vs. Undead. Tingnan natin. PVU to PHP. Kasi bumagsak din tong Plants vs. Undead kahapon, guys. Nag-trending to kahapon. Tingnan nyo yung price ng Nag-trending to eh. Ito yung sinabi nilang the next DeFi plant. Itong Plants vs. Undead. Narag pull din sila. Ay, hindi naman narag pull. Bumagsak yung yung presyo. Tingnan nyo bakit? Kasi August 26, nakita nyo ba sa screen ko? August 26, pumalo sila ng 1,200 pesos per PVU token. So, isang PVU token last August 26. So, hindi pa magwa 1 month. August 26, 1,200. Ngayon, bumagsak. Ang presyo kahapon, umabot sa 136 pesos. Talagang bagsak, 'di ba? Almost 10 times yung binagsak niya. So, ito yung sinabi nila na ito daw yung next na magiging rug pull. Kasi merong naging issue dito na yung developer nila mismo is naglabas ng $500,000 sa mismong wallet nila, mismo sa laro mismo. So, ayun, unquestionable and parang wala lang din naging reaction yung developer sa $500,000 na nailabas. And then, sa Plants vs. Undead kasi, hindi kilala yung founder nila. So, ito yung ito yung website nila. So, wala silang pinapakitang muka. So, ito lang. Social media. Disclaimer, and then encyclopedia. So wala talagang muka. So dito pa lang, hindi ako sure. Kung dito pa lang, parang red flag na yan. Maganda nga yung website, 'di ba? Maganda pagkaka-design, parang legit na laro. Legit na game na parang naaalala ko yung game dati na anong game ba yun? May naaalala kong game dito dati. Maganda yun na game. So eto, walang hindi nagpapakita yung developer nila. So red flag na yan. Isa na yan sa red flag. Pero ewan ko, marami pa ding nag-i-invest. Ayun nga, bumagsak kahapon. Kita nyo, from 1,200 August 26 naging kahapon 1,136. Wala pang 1 month, bagsak na. So ayun, tapos hindi mo pa makita yung mukha ng developer. Doon pa lang parang scam na, 'di ba? Pero hindi ko sure, hindi ko naman parang criticize sila or sinasabing scam agad. Pero ayun lang, kumpara mo lang sa AXIE is, sa AXIE kasi meron tayong nakitang pagmumuka nila Jihos, ayan, mga interview, mga pumupunta sa mga event, may updates. Kumpara mo sa dito, ano bang updates nila? Yun lang. Wala silang pinapakitang muka eh. Hindi kilala. Kaya red flag na yun. Yun lang. So, ayan, Plants vs. Undead. Hindi ako sure dyan, men. Monster Infinite. Tingnan natin. Monster Infinite to PHP. Monster Infinite. Price ng in 30 days. Tingnan natin. Monster Infinite last sa tama ba to? September. Uy, bumagsak din si Monster Infinite Lodis. Monster Infinite nag 163 and ngayon 100. Bagong laro yata to. Bagong game. Kakalabas lang. So, nag-hype siya and then ngayon, okay lang, Monster Infinite. Hindi ako updated, pero naririnig ko tong Monster Infinite eh. Parang din to, parang trying hard to be Axie Infinity. Oh, maganda yung isa din kasi sa nakakapag-inganyo ng mga tao is yung website. Oh, 'di ba ang ganda ng website oh? May animation tuwing mag-scroll ka. Parang masasabi mo legit na agad. Oh, invest ka na agad, bili ka na agad, 'di ba? Parang ganun. Pero 'wag kang malula sa mga ganyan. Ganyan talaga yung mga ibang scammer, no? Pero hindi ko sinasabing scam na agad to. Anyways, kung gusto nyo mag-invest sa isang bagay, pwede naman. Research nyo na lang. Research lang and then invest kayo kunyari dito sa Monster Infinite. Konti lang siguro, no? Di ako sure magkano to. Di ako sure talaga. Pero parang Axie Infinity daw to. So, lahat talaga ng NFT games, meron talagang roadmap. Kahit yung DeFi plants, meron silang roadmap. Pero ayun, narag pulled, na scam silang lahat. So, ano pa yung comments nyo dyan? DeFi pet. May DeFi pet. Wait lang. Lods, magkano yung 5,600 SLP sa WETH? Comment ay PM ka na lang sa page. Tapos pag-usapan na lang natin doon yung price. May DeFi pet, Lods, okay ba? May DeFi pet, I think okay. Yes, may DeFi pet. Okay naman may DeFi pet. Tingnan natin. 112. Ox lang. 90 days. Actually, yung may DeFi pet, naabutan ko to na nasa isang DPET token nasa 190 pesos. Yes, naabutan ko yata yun or nasa 100 plus na. 90 pesos yun eh. Ito, July 13. Ito yung time na nakita ko yung may DeFi pet. Nasa 90 pesos. And then, nag-pump siya hanggang 453. So, nagmahal. Pero ngayon, 116. Bumagsak. 112. Bumagsak. So, DPET. Is it still worth it? Wala pa din kasi silang play to earn mechanic katulad ng Axie Infinity. So, ayun. Meron din silang update na inaantay na magkakaroon sila ng play to earn mechanic. Pero wala pa din yatang nilalabas eh. Kaya hindi tayo sure anong mangyayari sa kanila. Bumagsak pala sa 95 pesos sila. Ngayon, 112. Plants vs. Undead bumagsak, yes, 135. Kahapon yan. So, ayan. Sa lahat ng NFT games, I would suggest only dun ka talaga sa pinaka taas, like Axie Infinity. Kaya hindi tayo nag-invest sa ibang NFT games dahil gusto din natin mag-focus sa Axie Infinity. And if ever gusto mo magdagdag in investment, pwede ka naman sa mga mainstream tokens mag-invest. So, ayun talaga yung maganda. Pero itong mga ganito, parang sugal kasi to. Parang sugal. Yung mga baguhan, parang sugal. Either sisikat, tataas yung coin, so magiging malaking income mo. Or if magiging scam, ayun, sunog pera mo. Yun lang yun. Check natin SLP 4.15, 3T bumaba AXS, SLP. So, eto yung galaw ng SLP, AXS. $66 bumalik. Okay lang, okay lang. I think it's okay. Okay lang, okay lang. Maraming content si Attorney Libayan neto. Legit, maraming content. Sasabihin niya naman yung mga scam, nagsitaasan, 'di ba? Keep grinding everyone, yon. Gladys Jane Morales. Kaya tama si Gios, 5 years from now, AXIE community power. Oo, sana nga, sana nga. Sa Monster pala, sir, ano idea mo doon? Lods, okay pa ba may DeFi pet? Ayan, nasagot na natin yan. Medyo okay na develop ng laro, bas beta version pa rin. Mga updates sa my DeFi. Account owner ng my DeFi, Lods. Alright, nice. So, ayun. Sir, Sprinterland, ano po idea mo doon? Sprinterland. Check natin, Sprinterland. So, Sprinterland. Sprinterland is up. So, ayan. Sprinterland. July 26 kakalabas ng Sprinterland. And ngayon, yun. Sprinterland is good. Ox naman, Sprinterland. Yes. I think mas okay pa to. Etong Sprinterland kesa doon sa mga sa mga Plants vs. Undead. Kasi sa nakita nyo dito, guys, from August last month, no, yung coin nila is lang, halos lang, nasa lang mismo, nasa 10 to 14 peso, I think 20, yes. Actually, bumagsak din sila. Pero at least sila, nagko-consolidate, pero nag-really accumulate. Sa Sprinterland, I think is a good investment. Pero talaga guys, research muna kayo bago nyo pasukin ng isang laro. Kasi hindi natin alam, 'di ba? Lalo na pag hindi kilala yung developer. So, doon pa lang orange flag na, or siguro red flag na 'yan para sa akin. So, eto. Ayun yung sinasabi natin, guys. Bossing, kailan kaya RONIN Dex? Hopefully, by next month, masabay sa season 19. Yun yung sinasabi natin. Tuloy-tuloy na ba pagtaas, Lods? Tuloy-tuloy na bang pagtaas? Hindi pa natin masasabi ngayon kasi nag-pump siya kanina, pero ngayon nagko-consolidate na ng dahan-dahan. Nagko-consolidate na siya, no? Kanina nagbiglang pump and then madaming sa nakita nyo dito, guys. Ito sa gilid. Ito yung mga sell orders to. Sell orders. So, TIG 44 5 million, 70,000 pala, 13,000, 10,000 total. So, tig hundreds thousand. Meron ding nagbabay kahit papano. So, may nagbabay, may nagsisell. Pero ngayon, medyo madami-dami yung nagsisell. Kaya, bagsak. Bumabagsak ng kaunti lang, kaunti lang. Kaunti lang naman. Hindi naman nakaka-apekto. 4.14. AXS. Volatile yung AXS natin ngayon, guys. Volatile. So, sa AXS, I think cash out area is nasa 6. Pag bababa pa siya sa 60. 65? Yes. AXS to USDT. Ito. Pag bababa pa sa 65 to. Ito. I think that's the bottom line sa AXS. Pero wala eh. Andito pa din siya sa gitna. That's a good thing. Sa SLP. Lahat ng to by hype lang kasi. Wala pa siyang technical analysis talaga. So, itong mga pagtaas, pagbaba, wala to dahil sa burn or wala to dahil sa mga namimint ngayon. Lahat ng to dahil sa balita, sa update nga. So, normal lang to na mangyayari pag may bagong update. Ganun talaga nangyayari sa market. So, ano pa yung comments nyo? May crypto blades pa kaya? Crypto blades. Crypto blades. Meron pa yatang crypto blades, guys. Pero, wala na eh. Mahal kasi ng gas fee. Mahal kasi ng gas fee nila eh. Kaya wala na. Nalugi sila. Pero dito pa din oh. Hindi pa din sila nawawala. Marami lang nag-quit. Tingnan mo, pumalo ng 2,700 yung isang skill token. 2,700, 2,800 isang skill token, and now 967 na lang, bumagsak. So, yun talaga yun eh. Wala tayong magagawa eh. Ano na lang si SLP, di ba? Ang laki ng binagsak. Next week na daw, V2 at RONIN Dex, sabi ni Rudy. Sinong Rudy? Baldwin? Sabi ni Ruel Supangan, nag-aantay ako parati ng update mo. Thanks so much always. Alright. Shoutout sa iyo, Ruel Supangan. Boss, kailan kaya RONIN Dex? Ayun, nasagot na natin yan. Hopefully by next month, sabay sa season 19. Pero not sure. Hopefully within this year. Grind lang ng grind, sabi ni Clinton. Alright. December pa, P2E, my DeFi pet. Play to earn. December, nice. 500 pesos pinasok ko dyan. Okay na yan, 500 pesos. Wala na yan, hindi makakakain ka pa niyan kahit mawala yung 500. AJ Santos, shoutout. Tapos, sino pa ba? Hi Lods, pataas ata SLP. Sabi ni Maria Crisa Jimenez. Yes, plant undead pala yun, sir, na dead. Medyo nabubuhay pa naman sila ng kaunti kahit papano. Pa-shoutout Lods, thank you kay MA. I don't know if Maria ba yan, pero kay Crisa Jimenez, shoutout sa'yo. Hirap claiming SLP Lods. Meron mukhang yata ngayon sa Ronin. Medyo maraming busy yata yung Binance to Ronin natin. Congested yata. Check natin. So, yung Bitcoin ko nga, kinonvert ko muna sa AXS para quick cash, no? Estimate, 0.061. May bibili ng WETH. Wait lang, guys. May bibili ng WETH sa akin sa page. Konti lang naman. 0.01. Alright, full charge na. Okay, ox na. Ox na, ox na. Thoughts on Devikin, sir? Devikin. Devikin? Thoughts on Devikin. So, natingnan natin yung mga crypto blades na yan, mga DeFi pet na rug pull. So, Devikin. Hindi ko masyado narinig tong Devikin na, pero medyo may alam na tayo ng kaunti sa Devikin. Bago yata to eh. Devikin. Bagong game. Wala pa silang website. Meron silang website. Devikin's white paper. So, maraming nagsisilabasan na NFT game na ngayon, guys. Isa din dito itong Devikin. So, if maliit lang naman yung investment dito and marami ka namang oras maglaro, why not, 'di ba? Why not? Why not? If kunyari yan, 500 lang, 1,000, pwede na, pwede na. So, ayaw mag-loading ng website nila. Next month na, next season, yes, next month na po. Possible po ba mag-5 soon ng SLP yun kasi selling price ko, Lods? Possible ba? Malalaman natin yan bukas. Pero sa ngayon, no? I don't think tataas pa to ng 4.5. Pero malalaman bukas kasi bukas pa naman yung update. So titingnan natin yan bukas. Possible tumaas ang presyo ng AXIE sa update ngayon, Lods. Yes, may possibility tumaas dahil magmamahal yung Ethereum. Nagmamahal yung Ethereum, nagmamahal yung WETH, and then nagmamahal yung gas fee. Kaya mahal. Pero pag may WETH ka naman sa mismong account mo, hindi ka maapektuhan ng pagtaas ng price ng mga AXIEs. Kaya that's a good thing if may mga WETH kang nakahuddle sa sa RONIN account. Ano AXS prediction mo, Lods? AXS prediction ko? AXS prediction, actually, ang AXS ngayon, yun nga, sabi ko sa inyo, wala tayong data ngayon na ma-analyze sa ating SLP and sa ating AXS. Dahil lahat ng to, nagpump lang dahil sa new update na nilabas. Lahat ng to nagpump lang dahil sa, yes, that's what I said. Lahat ng to, wala siyang technical analysis na masasabi natin ngayon. Nagpump lang siya dahil sa update. Ganun lang kadali yun. So, boss, na mag-pump and dump lang ba yan? Maraming nag-pump and dump, lalo na yung mga traders ngayon. Bumili ng SLP AXS kanina habang mura and then nag-dump na ngayon habang profit pa sila. Thanks so much for the shoutout. Always abangers here. Yun. Boss, question po. Boss Pogi, question po, bakit hindi po matransfer SLP ko from RONIN to RONIN? Ang nakasulat, you've used up free transaction for today. Hindi ko naman po nagagamit ever. Alright, so lang yan, madaling problema lang yan. Ang gagawin mo is ilalagin mo yung RONIN mo sa sa marketplace. Mag-login ka sa AXIE Infinity Marketplace and then gamitin mo, pwede ka na mag-send. I think that's the easiest solution there. Congested RONIN network ngayon. Yes, congested dahil nga maraming nagpa-pump and dump ngayon. Let's nabalitaan mo nangyari sa DeFi plans, nag-rug pull ang laro na 40 million and ang natangay nila. Yes, kanina. Napakita na natin yung video niyan. DeFi plans na rug pull. So, may tutuloy na po kaya yung mga pag-angat, Lods. Hopefully bukas. Pero we cannot promise that. Today, I think, is the best pick. Nag-pick siya ngayon. Tingnan natin bukas if mamimaintain niya pa yan. Kasi ano naman, magdodoble yung burn ng SLP. So, bukas pa yung update. Bukas pa mag-effect yung double SLP burning. So, I think, in that case, yung SLP natin, hindi siya gaano babagsak talaga na tuluyan. No? So, okay yun, okay. Ano pa yung new update? So, yung AXS breed from 2 to 1. And then, yung SLP burning, double na sa breeding. So, ayan yung update. Lods, paano po makabili ng AXS for breeding fee po sana? So, if gusto nyo bumili ng AXS and ng WETH, PM lang kayo sa page ko. Bibigyan kayo ng rates, best rates, and then legit talaga. Meron ako mga proof of transaction. Kahit pang-send ko pa sa inyo yan lahat. Walang problema yan. So, if gusto nyo bumili ng AXS, ng WETH, or gusto nyo magbenta ng SLP sa akin, pwede din. Message nyo lang ako sa page ko dito sa facebook.com/boyaxi-youtube. Ito yung YouTube natin papakita natin. Nung binaba yung AXS breeding fee last time, nag-pump yung AXS ng 50%. Yup, that's right. Pero tingnan natin ngayon. So ito yung page ko, guys. Boyaxi YouTube, check nyo na lang. So ito, 100k worth of WETH sold. Salamat kay Sir Red Liwanag dahil sa iyo. Alright, so ayan, proof of transactions, andito lahat. And scammer spotted, Team AXIE Isko, scammer yan. So check nyo na lang. Ito yung page ko mismo, and then may nagbebenta din pala ako ng Trezor. Same day shipping Metro Manila, guys. Andyan yung rates, nasa page ko lang din. Buying SLP, selling WETH, selling AXS. So, lahat ng yan, if gusto nyong mag-avail, contact nyo lang ako sa page ko. Alright, so ano pa ba? Magmumuro kaya AXIE boy dahil sa SLP breed update? Mukhang hindi. Dahil madodouble yung SLP, so hindi yata siya magmumura. I think kung ano yung price ngayon, that I think is the lowest ngayon. So if gusto mo bumili ng AXIE, bumili ka na. Kasi bumili ako ng AXIE nung nakaraan. Medyo sakto-sakto lang din. So ginamit ko na yung chance na habang mura pa. So ngayon meron na tayong dagdag AXIE, may isko pa. So maganda. Malapit na P2 isa MI4 more PG MMORPG play ata Lodi. Thank you, boss Pogi. Alright, thank you. Ma'am Layo na pawi kay Lods Napansin mo rin ba nagpump lagi yung AXS before mag-release ng update? Yes, napapansin natin yan. In reality, yung developers natin, they only care about AXS. Yun talaga sa reality. Kasi yung SLP unlimited yan Itong SLP maraming hold yung developers nito, kaya ito yung pinapump nila. So I think ginawa nila yon, win-win situation, dahil yung AXS tataas, SLP tataas. Pero I don't know if it will be sustainable in the long run, itong update na to. Hopefully magiging sustainable siya pag nailabas yung mga RONIN decks, Battles V2, and yung LAN gameplay by next year. Hopefully next year tatagal tayo. Alright. Best time bumili now? Yes, best time dahil mura pa. Baka bukas magmamahal. Pag mag-scholar ka ba, need gumawa ng new RONIN? Huwag kang gumawa ng new RONIN pag magiging scholar ka. Huwag ka talagang gumawa ng new RONIN. So hindi kailangan ng new RONIN. Actually, pwede naman, pero I suggest na muna. Kasi QR code lang kasi bibigay sa iyo Parang may nauunang nakakaalam ng update before ilabas sa public. Meron talaga yan. Lahat Lods meron. Apple nga di ba? Tingnan mo. Apple, iPhone company. Meron ngang nakakaalam. Kasi big company siya. Ito naman, kahit paano, Axie Infinity, malaki din siya. So, meron talagang nakakaalam niyang mga update bago ilabas sa public. Normal lang yan, guys. Normal lang yan. So, SLP check natin ngayon. So, yun nga sinabi ko, di pa tayo makapaglaro. Kasi, na-swap pa natin. And then, nagtitingin pa tayo sa marketplace ng magandang ipalit. Ayun. Check natin. Wait lang. Tingin tayo sa marketplace. Ano bang magandang Lods? Magandang reptile build. Magandang reptile build. Yung lang, kasya lang sa mga 0.74 yan. Budget natin. Pwede naman dagdag, pero saan makakabili ng 8? Sa Binance. Sa Binance. Idol, good pa ba mag-hold ng SLP? Sahod ko kasi now. Yun yung maganda. Good pa ba mag-hold ng SLP? Today is the best. I think today is the best time to sell. If kailangan mo yung pera, ha. If kailangan mo yung pera. Pero if hindi naman, if meron ka pa namang pera, meron ka pa namang extra, meron ka pa namang allowance, may savings ka pa naman, may pangkain, pang tustos ka pa naman sa mga susunod na mga weeks, I think it is a good time to hold. Pero if kailangan talaga yung pera, literally kailangan, no, just sell it if kailangan, kasi hindi natin sure if bukas tataas pa to or bababa. Napaka volatile ng SLP and ng AXS para i-hold. So, I think if mag-hold ka, hold mo ito sa mga other investments. Like, literally, if malaking halaga yung i-hold mo, pwede mo naman siya i-convert into Bitcoin, ganun. Into, USDT. If gusto mong pera mo is hindi mababawasan or hindi tataas, pwede mo naman siya, gawin mo siyang like literally pwede mong i-dive, parang yung investment mo, hindi mo lang i-focus sa SLP lahat. Kasi dito, itong AXIE Infinity, nag-open up na to sa atin na ma-open up tayo sa cryptocurrency market. Not just in crypto, kasi yung AXIE Infinity nag-open sa atin ng way para mabukas yung isipan natin sa sa market. Not just in crypto market, but also later on into stock market. Kasi napakaraming yumayaman sa stock market. Not just in stock market, lalo na yung mga nag-i-invest dito sa cryptocurrency market. Tingnan mo, if bumili ka kanina ng SLP at worth 3.5 peso and nagkakahalaga yan ng 3.5 and then yung binili mo is worth 1 million. Ngayon, yung 1 million mo almost times 2 na, 'di ba? Siguro naka 1.6 million ka na. 1.5 million kung ano man, kung dala yung fee. Easy money yan, 'di ba? So, ayan, itong mga ways na to, dito yung mayaman kasi yung tao, yung mga high risk taker talaga. Sila talaga yung yumayaman. Kaya talaga, maganda tong binigay na opportunity sa atin. Ano pa ba yung update natin? So, yung ating yung AXS breeding natin is 1 na lang. SLP, double na yung sa breeding. So, from 300 virgin, 600 virgin na. Yun yung update. Grass Snake Champ priority. May Bulwark Lords, Tiny Dino Champ. Midline, maganda ba yung midline? Bulwark. Bulwark, tapos saan yung bulwark dito? Ito. Parang yata to Solid ba to pang midline? Solid kasi zero energy. May Bulwark Lords. Tiny Dino Champ. Tiny Dino Champ. Maganda yun ah. Tiny Dino Champ. Grass Snake. Pag nag-hold ba ako ng SLP loads another 14 days, ang hihintayin ko para ma-withdraw ulit? Yes, yes. Pwede po kayang mag 10 pesos siya, boss, or pataas pa po. Hindi pa po eh. Pasensya na po. Ginagawa ko lang sell para wala nang iniisip. Kung nag-sell ka kahapon tapos ngayon nagmahal, o di ba? Maganda, Grass Snake Champ. Siguro Bone Snail para high shield draw card. Huwag ka na mag-bulwark. Bone Snail. Bone Snail. Ivory Chop. And then Grass Snake. Oh. Wag na mag-Tiny Dino. Di kasi useless tong Venom Spray kasi hindi naman poison build yung ano ko. Yung plant ko at saka yung ano ko, iba kong AXIE. Pang pa-late game yan, Lods. Nakita ko video ni Bryce nga daw naka-tie up yung SLP bidding fee sa marketplace niya. Mas bababa ang worth ng SLP, mas mataas kailangan for bidding and vice versa. Pwede ba maglaro sa iPhone? Hindi pa. Magkano gas fee kung papalit ng SLP? Hindi ko alam, Lods. Yung ano, gas fee kung papalit ng SLP. Check mo dito sa ano, Lods, sa AXIE Live. Ito. Para makita mo lahat. Gas fee. Ito yung gas fee ngayon. Withdraw mo AXS 2,000 pesos. Refresh mo. 1.7 na lang. Alright. So, mura-mura. Nagmura konti. Pero 1.7, napakalaki pa din. So, zero energy cost kasi lamang sa bitaw. Kaya nga, no? Kasi zero energy yung Grass Snake. Tingnan natin. Grass Snake. Tanggalin natin yung Tiny Dino. Kasi naghanap ako ng magandang reptile build. Ano kulang? Incisor. Incisor or Cerastes? I think Incisor is the best. Incisor. Uy, kinang-inang mahal. Mahal siya ng mahal. Zero energy card. Bind dagger. Apply poison to target. Zero energy card. Maganda din, maganda. Thanks loads, more power. Alright, so yun lang muna for today's siguro mag-out na muna tayo. So titingin-tingin muna ako ng mga options sa reptile. So yun lang muna guys. Thank you for watching sa ating live. Hopefully nag-enjoy kayo.